Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our RockyMounts MonoRail solo platform bike rack right here on our 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. So the RockyMounts MonoRail is great if you're just planning on going out for a ride real quick. You need a quick bike rack to throw onto your Pacifica, and you want something that's versatile, easy to use, and checks off all the boxes. So we'll take a look at some of the features of our monorail, but we are going to focus on our Chrysler Pacifica to make sure this is going to be the best fit, or if it is the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. So first thing we'll take a look at is the tilt away feature. We have this big blue lever here. This drops down to a tilt. Now the downside is your Pacifica has a really large door. So as you can see here, we did not make it, and we could not clear our pedals. Even with our really small pedals, there definitely was not clearance there. So with that in mind, something you're going to have to think about is you will not be able to use that feature. So you have this lever here, and you are going to want to use that lever when you fold up instead of when you tilt away. But if you really need to access your hatch, you can take off your bike, and it's a relatively quick and easy process. So I'll guide you through that. But first, let's talk about capacities and what types of bikes you can have up on here. This has a 60-pound weight capacity. So if you have an extra heavy electric bike, this is going to be fine for that. But even your other types of bikes, like I have our carbon fiber frame here, and with other racks that have the hooks that come down, I'd be concerned about warping or cracking the frame. With this, I don't have to worry about that because it holds on to the bike by a front wheel mount. This makes it convenient too for your step-through bikes, your women's frames, your children's frames. Another thing that's holding it down is our rear wheel strap. So you see that bright blue lever? Well, when you want to take your bike off, you just press on that lever and then you lift up on that strap. And then just leave it over here to the side. That way it doesn't get caught up in our spokes. Then come over here to the front, hold on to your frame. As you press the big blue button on there, push that mount out. And just like that, you can grab your bike and you're ready to go on a bike ride. I'm gonna leave our bike over here to the side so that we can take a closer look at the rack itself. So we have our front wheel mount. I talked about how it holds on to your bikes even with different types of frames. This has a texture to it just to give you some extra grip. And you also have that curve, a little different from styles like the Kuat Sherpa or the Kuat NV, but still works out. You have that front wheel cradle here too, and we have different grooves on that front wheel cradle. So whether you have bike tires that are really tiny or you have the extra wide fat bike tires of up to 5 inches, this can carry that. This folds down to be all nice and neat. This folds down too to be compact. We have our rear cradle. This tilts back and forth for those different wheelbases with a maximum wheelbase of 48 inches. All right, this is gonna be a very compact bike rack. So if you need something that you can store in a teeny tiny nook in your garage or even in your trunk, this is gonna be the one for you. So let's take some measurements to see how it works with our Pacifica. I'm gonna measure from our rear bumper to the end of the bike rack by that lever is 17 inches. A little bit further out over here at about 19 inches. So definitely compact. Sometimes with your larger bikes, you'd be concerned about when you back into your garage or park into a tight spot, especially since you have a larger vehicle like this. This does not add that much extra. Ground clearance is gonna be from the end of the rack to the ground, 23 inches. Compare that to where the shank is, and that's about 10 inches. So ground clearance is something some people think about with their larger bikes. In our case here, this is going to be more of how high are you going to have to lift your bike up onto the rack. So where that tray is, it sits at 24 inches or 2 feet. If you have your extra heavy electric bikes, while this can carry it, you are going to have to think about lifting it up 2 feet. Okay, another thing we'll take a look at as well for one, we can now open up our hatch with our bike off. It looked like it came close to our cradles, but it's nice to confirm that we definitely have clearance there. If we need to grab things out of our trunk, we can do so now. And then when we bring everything back down, let's say you've grabbed your bags and stuff, you can then lower your hatch, put your bike back on, and you're ready to hit the road again. So just a little extra effort there. Another thing you can do is fold this up. So that lever we pulled, and fold it up into the upright position. You cannot open your hatch in this position, but let's take some other measurements. Closest point is going to be from our front or rear cradle to the bumper. That's going to be 1.5 inches away. Length now added to the back of our vehicle is going to be, again, from the bumper to the end of the rack, almost 12 inches or 1 foot. So this is going to be the position you have it in when you're just planning on driving around town or you need it to take up less space. I do recommend just keeping it in the down position all the time since it's compact anyways. Living with this behind you, notice now this does not cover your rear windows, your taillights are visible, your license plate is visible, and your backup camera is visible. It's kind of like not having a bike rack behind your vehicle at all. Let's talk about how it fits into our hitch. We have 1.25 inch shank with an included 2-inch hitch receiver. That's because this is the monorail solo. If you have the RockyMounts MonoRail that can carry up to 2 or 3 bikes, those usually have the 2-inch shank. This fits right into our hitch receiver, and it has an anti-rattle bolt and a lock. Now that lock over there, you're going to get a lock that goes onto that bolt, and you're going to get a lock over here. This is going to be for your cable lock. That way you can secure both your bikes and your bike rack with a single key. But with that anti-rattle bolt in place, watch how as I shake our bike rack, I'm attempting to shake our vehicle at this point because it's really nice and secure fit. I know some people are concerned when there's an adapter in place if there's going to be extra movement. As you can see with this, no movement at all from an improper fit. So my personal thoughts about the RockyMounts MonoRail is, if it's just you going for a ride and you just need a bike rack for one, this is going to be a great, easy option. That way you can keep it on your vehicle at all times. You can store it in a really small spot inside of your garage. You don't have to worry about something large and bulky. If you're planning on taking your friends out though, your family, they have bikes too, you might be interested in some of our other options here. We have hanging racks like the Kurt Premium. That's a really good family-friendly and affordable hanging rack. Or you can go over to something like the Kuat Transfer V2 4-bike platform rack. Has a similar design to this. We can carry up to 4 bikes, but a little bit more of a price too. Hopefully this video helped you out with that decision-making process to see which one is the best fit for you. This definitely checks off all the boxes, although I kind of wish we were able to open up the hatch with this bike rack. But this was a look at the RockyMounts MonoRail Solo 1-bike platform rack right here on our 2018 Chrysler Pacifica.